Danny Flexen here for SecondsOut. Delighted to be joined by the European Cruiserweight champion, Chris Billam-Smith. Just 9 days away now from the big fight back home in Bournemouth with Isaac Chamberlain. You must be incredibly excited.
Yeah, I'm over the moon. This is something I've asked for years. Finally we're here, and it's a nice, tough domestic clash as well, live on Sky Sports, so it's perfect really.
What does it say about Boxer and about Sky Sports that in your first fight on that platform, or first fight back in terms of Sky Sports, they've got you that hometown fight that you've craved for so long?
Yeah, I mean, it says, I think where they are at the stage of that, they haven't got loads of headliners. They've got a lot of talent. As you look at the undercard, there's so much talent on it, but they haven't got any headliners. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity for them. Obviously, domestically, they put on a lot of domestic shows, smaller shows or smaller towns such as Bournemouth and stuff like that. So very, very grateful for the opportunity.
Is this a one-off deal as it stands, or are you signed a longer-term deal with Boxer?
No, this at the moment is a one-fight deal. It's all about just winning next week, and we'll see where we go.
Is it them that need to prove something, not just you winning, but they need to prove to you what a good show they can put on in Bournemouth, because that'll encourage you to stay with them as well? Yeah,
I think Bournemouth's got to prove that it's a sellable, it's a business, it's not a sport, as we know. So it's very much, myself and Bournemouth have got to sell the show to them as well. But I'm very grateful they give me the opportunity, and I'm sure we do that.
And without being overly nosy, how were things left with Matchroom? Is all kind of happy? Not happy because they want to keep you, but no hard feelings?
No, look, they offered me an extension on the contract, but I really wanted to fight back home, and they couldn't guarantee me that, so we sort of left. I left as a free agent, and then Boxer offered me and Sky offered me this fight. All left on good terms. I'm ever so grateful for the opportunities they've given me, especially as my first fight with them. My first proper fight was a loss, obviously, and then since then I've been with them, and I'm hugely grateful to Eddie, Frank, and the whole Matchroom team, because I get on with them all. They become friends because you see them. You're all spent all week with them when you're in the bubbles during the pandemic and stuff. So no, it was all left on good terms.
Glad to hear it. Now, Isaac Chamberlain, was that the sort of opponent you expected to get hometown in Bournemouth? Because you could have been forgiven for having kind of a gimme. You're the hometown fighter, you're going to sell most of the tickets regardless of who you're fighting. It's a really good fight.
Yeah, that was the fight that was offered, and we were happy with it. So it's a good fight. This game's not just about being a ticket seller, getting up to the top level and getting found out. I'm learning on the way, which I think I've proven with the sort of tests I've had. I'm gradually building. Isaac's a bit of an unknown quantity, really, because we've only seen 6 rounds of him since the Luke Watkins fight, which was 3 years ago or 3 or 4 years ago. So he's, in a way, he's a bit of an unknown quantity, and he's a dangerous unknown quantity. So it's an exciting fight for me to really get my teeth into in the camp, which I have done. A great opportunity to then, have another domestic fight.
Who have you been sparring in the build-up to this, and how similar have they been to Isaac Chamberlain?
I've probably sparred about 8 or 10 different people. Obviously today we sparred Chevon Clark, Devon Miller and Sharif Musa. They're all tough lads, strong lads. Isaac's a strong lad, and they put their shots together, and Isaac puts his shots together. So in that sense, they're similar. Obviously, you can never get exact sparring partners, but there's been great work, and it's not so much always about getting the perfect sparring partner. It's about doing the correct things, because you've got to do the right things for the person you're going to fight, not necessarily the person you're sparring. So it's been great work.
And clearly, you rate Isaac Chamberlain highly. I can tell just from what you're saying. Where do you think you hold the advantages?
I think the experience now. Obviously, he's had 2 domestic 50-50 fights, one with Lawrence, one with Luke Watkins. Obviously lost to Lawrence quite convincingly in what was a horrible fight to watch. I don't think anyone can argue otherwise. But and then the Luke Watkins fight was a close fight. But I think I've got more experience than him. Probably done more rounds than him as well, especially in the last year and a half, 2 years. So it's and then just there's plenty of other physical advantages as well that I hold. But it's cruiserweight boxing. He's still dangerous, so I have to be switched on.
The fight with Lawrence and Isaac seems like a lifetime ago now, but have you had any conversations with Lawrence about Isaac and what he has to offer?
No, not at all, because they're both different fighters now from when they boxed then. Me and Lawrence are very, very different fighters. We'll approach every fight in a different manner because of our styles. And as the saying goes, styles make fights. So as we're different styles, we haven't had the conversation. Really, I've seen enough of Isaac. I can assess him my own way well enough. I've shared the ring with him very, very early on in both our careers. But I know enough about him. There's no need for the conversation.
Ideally, would this be your last one before a world title shot, or at least a world title eliminator? Because you are kind of knocking on the door with most of the governing bodies now. Yeah,
I feel like I'm getting there now. I think then if a world title shot comes, then brilliant. If it's an eliminator, then so be it. I guess that's where I'm at now, and that's the level I'm at, and it's a good performance here puts me right up there. Obviously, I'm well ranked anyway with the governing bodies, so yeah. World title or the final eliminator next.
What did you make of Jay Opetaya's upset victory, it has to be said, over Maris Breedis?
It was an upset to me. I called that one just because it was in Australia. Opetaya's not a big name, so I think that's why people call it an upset. But when you actually look at the fundamentals that he's got, the ability he's got, his age, everything played in his favour. Breedis, obviously the fight got cancelled. He's travelled over there. He's getting older now. What is he, 37, 38? So he's still a great fighter, and I thought it would be a good close fight. But I just thought Opetaya was just a bit fresher, and I think that's pretty much what showed on the night.
And on the WBA side, they've just ordered the regular champion to fight the super champion, so Goulamirian against Riyad Mehri. What would you make of that one? Yeah,
I haven't seen much of Mehri. I've seen a bit of Goulamirian, but he's big and strong, Goulamirian. He was meant to fight Egorov three or four times, and it got cancelled. I think last time it got cancelled the day before. So yeah, it's good that that's now getting their boxing and they're active. You want the governing bodies and all the world title belts active. I think Opetaya and Lawrence may end up fighting. So then that leaves obviously Makabu there. So yeah, which would be a great fight for me. I'd absolutely love that one. It's exciting division. They're all talented at the top, but you don't want to be gifted a world title. You got to earn those things. So it's exciting to be involved.
Now, you've been involved in some big fights already, big victories, particularly in the last couple of years. But this one is at home. Assuming you get the job done, how much will this mean to you compared to some of the ones previously?
Yeah, a huge amount. It's just being back home. I absolutely love it. That atmosphere. Even the atmosphere when I had 600 people in a small hall show down there on my debut, and then I had 3 other fights down there, same venue. It's just amazing, and the town's just been behind me, the football club's been behind me, so it'd be an amazing feeling. I've just had a baby 8 weeks ago, so it's so the motivation couldn't ever be any higher. So the elation will be, I imagine, the highest yet.
Have you been able to be a hands-on dad while in the midst of training camp, obviously?
No, not really. It's been difficult. My wife's doing a superb job. So I imagine after the 30th of July, I'll be very much hands-on. She'll be going out all day, every day, and deservedly so. So, it's definitely been a sacrifice. I've always said there's never really a sacrifice because you're getting what you want out of it. If you're missing a wedding or you're missing a birthday or whatever it may be, but when it's family, it's definitely sacrificial. So for me, this has been sacrifices made this camp, as the same with Isaac. So, it's been amazing to obviously have him, but I'm looking forward to spending some time with him after the win.
You mentioned the football club earlier. Having a fight actually at the football stadium, is that a dream for the future?
That's the dream. Yeah, that's the dream for me. I mean, come through this one. If we can have a world title eliminator next, then fight for a world title there next summer, then that's a perfect roadmap for me. But obviously, you have to take it step by step, and still have the long-term goals, but really focus on the near future. But yeah, for me, that's the ultimate dream.
Brilliant. Chris, really appreciate it. Looking forward to the fight next week.